What up, everybody? So this is kind of a different type of video. One, because I'm here now. As you can see, this is mainly her channel. As of recently, I'm back just for like I guess a guest feature. But this is also a different type of video because we're going to be talking about some of the things that have been going on lately. A lot of the, I guess, social injustices that have been going on, you know, just for one part of the whole thing, because there's a whole lot to unpack and a whole lot to talk about, especially with us being black in the place that we live. So, you know, might be a good outlet or a good time to talk about some of the stuff that's happening.
So I guess for me, I've never really experienced racism directly to my face. I've got a lot of backhanded racism. Like, I've been called shadow before. People have said that like when the lights are turned off, they can't see me, and my group of friends, they would always ask us to like smile because our teeth were so white so that they could see us in the room. We wouldn't be lost anymore. Just like stuff like that. It was never like directly racism, but it was still like an insult about my color or my skin color. When I was in high school, I talked to this guy who was white, and I remember that he never wanted to be seen in public with me, and he was that type of person. Nope. Oh, I thought you were telling me.
No, I was saying it's bad.
He was that type of person that would say that, like, oh, he's never been with a black girl. You're really pretty for a black girl. You don't talk like the other black girls. Yeah, it was never like those. Yeah, so, and I don't know why I never stood up for myself. I should have said something to him, but it was another backhanded comment. Just things like that really shape you as a person, because I still think about the whole shadow comment to this day, and it hurts because you're so young, and or you're young, but like you're old enough to remember things, and it just sticks with you, and it's hard to accept who you are because you hate yourself for a while because of the way people treat you.
Yeah, especially for like where we live too.
Yeah,
there's not too many. I mean, I don't know the statistics and stuff like that, but I didn't really go to school with a whole lot of black people in high school or middle school or anything like that. And then when I moved here, like, I had only known one type of person, like black people, since I'm from Memphis. And like when I moved here, I was like, oh, look at there's all these different types of people and stuff like that. And then you're right, that's when sort of the stereotypes start to come out, you know, like, oh, you talk white, things like that, you know.
I got a lot of that.
It's so silly because like all that really is just like, oh, well, your perception of what black people should be is whatever you see on TV, or... And
you expect every one of us to be like that when that's not the case.
Right.
You know?
Just, it's like, it's ignorance. And so, whether you can call that, you know, like backhanded racism or just straight ignorance, but I mean, in the end, what's the difference, to be honest? So, yeah, those sort of comments are like, I don't know, they're weird because like you want to be like, you know, why are you saying that sort of thing?
But you don't want to be that angry black person.
And then also you're kind of outnumbered all the time anyways,
all the time,
you know? So it's like, well, you just kind of laugh it off, and then it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, I did a lot of that. I always laughed it off rather than like saying, hey, that's not okay.
Right.
So, and now with everything going on, like, it makes me want to go back to those days and like make myself snap out of it and stand up for myself. And I tried to fit in a lot when I was younger, so I would like tease my hair or do my makeup a certain way that wasn't for like black people. Like, so I don't know, I was trying to fit in so much to where I was losing my culture and who I was.
I mean, luckily nowadays when we're older, you don't really run into that sort of thing as much. One, because you can sort of tailor your friends to people that aren't as, I guess, like, you know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Not prejudice.
Not really. The friends that aren't as stupid.
Yeah.
And who don't, you know, makes judgmental sort of comments like that. But like you said, it does kind of stick with you. It makes you think about, well, am I black enough? And stuff like that, you know.
That's another thing. Like, I never felt black enough for the black people because I talk white or I acted white, but I wasn't fitting in with the white people either. So it's like, where do I fall? And then even with like our own black people, like with the light skin versus dark skin thing, I'm not light enough to be with the light skin girls, I'm not dark enough to be with the dark skin girls. And so it's just tough when you're trying to learn when you're learning to grow up, but you're also trying to learn yourself, and you're constantly getting like put in each category or not enough for one category, and you're trying to find your friend groups. Like, it's hard.
Yeah, sort of having all of that, I guess, angst or anxiety or whatever you want to call it sort of in you while all of this stuff is going on outside is like, you can kind of see why people are like feeling the way they do. I mean, just besides the little instances of whatever we went through, like, I'm pretty like I've had friends who have been stopped by the police, racial profiling, all that sort of stuff, guns pulled on them and everything. And luckily I haven't had to experience something like that, but I mean, that's like right next door.
It's like, it's not of like, oh, that'll never happen to me. It's, when is that going to happen to me?
Right.
So as a black person, it's kind of hard to be like, oh, I'm okay, because every day when I'm driving and I see a cop, I'm like, okay, let me sit up straight, let me make sure like my license is somewhere I can easily grab, I don't have to reach for it. And when I'm when I'm outside and there's cops, I get scared because they obviously aren't all bad, but I'm black, and so I know that I need to act a certain way to be able to go home at night.
It's come down to it that like no matter like what you do or who you are, you could be like, you know, the guy who was the bird watcher, Harvard graduate, that whole nine, you know, the racial injustice will find you no matter like how prestigious or how far you think, you know, you've made it.
Yep.
So yeah, I think we really want to sort of have an impact on everything that's going on, whether it's like signing petitions or going out and protesting or donating or things like that, because this sort of stuff has gone on for way too long, you know. And it sort of starts in those comments that you get early on, the kids that like don't ever, you know, they're never taught any different, or they grow up and then, you know, it turns into like, you know, hardcore racism and then being taught to their kids and stuff like that. Like that sort of stuff really needs to stop. And like I feel like at least today a lot of the younger people like are killing that rhetoric, which is good, because we don't want that thing taught to each generation and whatnot. But there's only a certain amount of like nonsense, racial injustice, and like white privilege and all this stuff that can go on before you start to see what's happening out here. You know, it's like there's like sides to everything, but I don't even see how some people can like be against what they're out there fighting for. Like you'll see online all the time, everybody's like, you know, making excuses for one party, or, you know, he should have done this or he should have done that. But it's like, it's a fact of the matter thing that what's happening is so blatant, but yet people don't want to pay attention to it. They make excuses for everything.
I don't get why we're like begging for people to understand that like we're people too, and we have family at home that we want to go home to, and just because of our skin color, we're not criminals, we're not bad people. Like I don't understand why we're fighting for equality, or like we're begging for equality, and people are like, no, but this, but that, and it just doesn't make sense. Like in 2020, this is what we're dealing with, and maybe this year had to happen because it's been terrible.
I know, this is just the cherry on top of everything, right? Yeah.
Like I saw a tweet that like we're supposed to go through all this year because it's such like a big number, 2020, and so we were supposed to go through all this crazy stuff. But I don't know, it's tough. I do think we're making changes already, but I mean, even with the protests, people are still getting killed and dying. So I just hope that something good comes out of all this and we do make an actual change. And I don't know, something needs to change. It's hard, especially because we live in Arizona, and it's not like the most racist state, but it's pretty close. Like
it's not. Yeah, I mean, you have your Karens everywhere, and you can read about Phoenix PD yourself.
Yeah,
the numbers will like speak for themselves. But yeah, this isn't the most, you know,
black friendly place,
right?
Because like Laval, I grew up. Well, I was born in Chicago, and in a predominantly black neighborhood, and I didn't like start meeting other races until we moved here. And so I grew up with no black people. So obviously I'm gonna lose some of that black culture or whatever. But now that I'm getting older, I want to learn more about my culture and hang out with more of my people and support black people. But it's hard to do because they're not out here.
But yeah, I guess the point of this video really is to, I guess, sort of, I don't know, maybe an outlet to some of what we've been feeling. Because I mean, it's like there's so much going on. It seems like there's a new name every day. And there's just, you know, this happened and that happened. And between trying to just stay focused on whatever you're doing, like work or school or all this stuff, I feel like, you know, don't really have a chance to take a second to talk about like how you feel or how it may have impacted you or people you know. And so, yeah.
I think it's just hard because, like, it's like, dang, like another person and what are we, this is 6 months into the year, another one, and I'm just supposed to continue with my life. Like, yeah, life goes on, but when is it gonna end? I'm tired. It's mentally exhausting. You get to the point, like I said, that who's next?
Right.
And as a black person, I have a lot of black men in my life, and I don't want to lose any of them to police brutality, and I don't want them to be another name on that list. Like, I don't know how many more it has to take for us to make a change and for the higher ups to implement a change, because something needs to change.
Whole lot needs to change. Yeah. So you can be a part of that whole change. We'll link all the, you know, petitions and places to donate and things like that, where you can help out. And then we can really only keep doing what we're doing and hoping for the best. And I mean, things are changing, like she said, and so we can't let off that gas and then make sure things keep changing. So
I really just wanted to use my platform to spread awareness and share our experiences and share petitions that we've signed, places that we've donated, and emails to email people and all of our government, just to get the word out there and make sure that we're not stopping this fight, because it's not over. Just because your friends have stopped talking about it on social media doesn't mean it's gone away. Like, I want to continue this fight, and I don't want it to just be a social media trend that everyone just like, okay, it's over. Like,
don't follow me on Twitter.
Yeah.
You won't, like, you'll hear about it every day of every second. So yeah. Right. Sorry.
So I'll have a link down below where you can sign all the petitions and places where you can donate money to. I'll also leave all the YouTube videos that I've watched down below regarding the same topic and everyone else's experiences. Yeah, I encourage you guys to go ahead and watch the videos, sign all the links, and just keep the momentum up. We can't let this just go away like everything else. Yeah.
It was nice seeing you guys again.
Yeah, so you guys won't see Lavelle anymore. Because it's my channel now.
You can listen to the podcast, though, if you want to hear my beautiful voice.
If you want more of Lavelle, which probably most of you only came here for Lavelle, we do have a podcast together, so that'll also be linked down below if you want to listen to us ramble. We talk about everything, anything on there. We post weekly. So yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Peace.
Around, yeah. Now I'm thinking